As I say it right now, you might not believe it now, but you will eventually. You might not believe anything I say. Again, I'm most likely just a stranger. Maybe we met in a previous consciousness of expressive consciousness. Maybe we were in different forms and different energies. Maybe we are two energies that I've met before. Possibly. We all are one of the same. Now, you might not believe it now, but you will eventually. You and I, you actually watching this, we are actually the expression of the same thing. Now, I know that sounds very strange. It sounds quite weird. But ultimately, there is not much of a difference between you and I. You might be thinking, well, I live a completely different life. Me and this guy, we don't share any traits, we don't share any characteristics, we don't look the same, we don't talk the same. It's just because you are a different expression of the same thing. There's everything, and there is the thing that exists. And think about it like this. Here is everything, and to that everything is just different expressions. And these are all the different people. It's just the same thing expressing itself in different ways to experience different forms of life and existence and different forms of that consciousness. You might not believe it now, but you will eventually. One day you're going to look back at perhaps this, what I'm telling you, so this thought, this memory, which I'm planting in your subconscious mind. You might be in the next form of existence and realize it. But eventually you will realize and you will come to know. Eventually you will come to understand what I'm saying right now. Hence why it strips back a lot of the stress. It strips back a lot of the expectation. It strips back a lot of what we want to do, need to do, feel we need to do, desire, things we want to bring in. It's quite interesting because knowing that everything is actually so temporary, knowing that your time here is extremely limited in the great scheme of all the timelines that are happening, they're actually happening right now. Past, present, future is happening right now. In the great scheme of things, you are just another blip of expression up until, I don't know what happens when you die. I don't know if we go to heaven. I don't know if we come back. I don't know if we reincarnate, experience a different consciousness, change your avatars. I do not know. So I'm not going to give you the answer to that. Neither do you need to find an answer to that. It's unnecessary. All you need to realize is that you are just an expression right now. Your lifetime is just an expression of something. Meticulously and carefully orchestrated. We might believe our decisions are completely independent from the rest of the world, from the rest of existence, from the rest of the timeline, it's not really a timeline. You might think it's separate, but actually it's not. You might think that if I decide to stand right now, that is because I decided it, but no, it's actually not. Because I have set an intention with my life that I was meant to stand, because me standing is sending out a certain energy that something else will happen. And that intention will happen. But where does that intention come from? You see, when you go so deep within yourself and you set certain intentions, it's not from your mind. It's from the all. There is no intention that you just make up. You don't go. When you awaken, there's no just deciding that you're going to do something. You are doing things because you are receiving it from a specific place. A place which is not, it's not somewhere we can go right now. It's not something I can touch right now. It's not something I can just say and you will experience right now. But it's from a place. It's from the place where actually this life is being expressed from. It's like a projector. We are just projections from this projector. We're just these rolls of tape. It's already predetermined. You just haven't watched the movie yet, so you think that everything's new. You think that everything's like, ooh, I made a decision, I made a choice, when that was actually going to happen anyway. So you can either become aware of this, and the beautiful thing about awareness is that it sets you free. It sets you free from having to worry about the pedantic and the mundanity and the suffering, because you will suffer. But ultimately, when you become aware, you realize that it's such a short lifetime. Why put myself through more anguish? Now, I'm not saying that if you are doomed, you are doomed. That's not what I'm saying. Because there is true fundamentals of reality. And this is the truth. There is not my truth and your truth. There's one truth. And the one truth is that everything is blissful, peaceful, loving, these types of things. That is the truth. That is the fundamental of reality. Of this reality which we live. Now, every type is actually that. Every type is actually that. But it requires you to become aware and realize that, right, okay, I understand now that I am aware. I understand that life is basically happening in a predetermined way. Yet it feels like I make choices. I am not doomed. I'm actually experiencing the fullness of it. Because when you will go back to the source, and when you'll realize this, what I'm saying now, when you go back to the source, you will then see, I believe it now. I now see it. So you might not believe it now, but you will eventually. I hope this unlocks something within you, and maybe just a different spectrum of thought and a different spectrum of seeing things. Good luck with that, and take it as it be. It's not the recipe to fulfillment or enlightenment, but it might just ignite something for you to follow up on. Peace out.